Freedom's an elusive word. Very easy to throw around, but to actually do it and be it is not easy. Well, chispas are like lightning strikes and whatnot, but the chispas de la vida referred to those special moments in life, that excess, that certain somethings that happen that make life really tasty. Chispas de la vida. There are dreams and our wishes, and they come true, you know. And things happen, you do things that are outlandish sometimes. They don't have to be like that, but there's moments that are very special. A horse trip across Spain for 33 days, the entirety was a chispa de la vida. To have pulled it off, to have thought of it and done it. Building of our Cortijo de las Yeguas, was a chispa. I didn't have any money. I just wanted to get off the coast because tourists were starting to come to the southern Spain. And out of nowhere, I never built a house or anything, and I ended up building this large Cortijo. Without the chispa was the thought, and just to follow it without any reasonable thinking or saying, hey, can I do this, or will it, or won't it, or all this kind of stuff. Just do it. That was one. The museum, Museo Hollander, that was surely one. And what did it come out of? Things often come out of strange avenues, you know. I'd gotten bumped on the head, a tennis racket of all things, and I was in serious physical health. My heart really was bumped a bit and blew out my left bundle branch and whatnot, and I was in trouble. And out of that came, hey, what do I want to do with the rest of my life? Because I had sort of a 5 to 10 year prognosis. That's pretty short time when you're in your 50s. 58, I think I was. And I wanted to do a museum out of nowheres. We had all these pieces of 15th century furniture. We had 4,000 or 5,000 artifacts that we had found over our whole time in Spain. And I said, we're going to do a museum, Barbie. And she said, you're crazy, you know. I don't know anything about a museum and this and that. We ended up doing Museo Hollander. And it was a chispa de la vida, huh? The snowmobile things. I'd never been on them. I hate machines. They're stinking, lousy, smelly, and this and that. And I got here, and all I remember is we were always, when in the ski troops, we were on mountaintops, we were on Continental Divide, we were just so far out there, you never saw anything that man had ever done. And it was magnificent. And I wasn't seeing it in Aspen, as nice as Aspen was. There's always, you're looking at a town. You know, I never go back there in the mountains that way because I'm going to look at the city. It's not that I don't like it, the city, I like nature. Anyway, I ended up with a snowmobile, 85 bucks. And didn't know anything about it and ended up going out to Taylor Pass. Not walking back, very fortunately. It came back, and I don't know how I got back. After that time, I was all right because carrying my gear, always a shovel, always overnight stuff, always enough water and food and whatnot. And always, but 500 trips in 15 years? Nature is itself, you know. It has its, undoubtedly it has its built-in faults and destructions and buildings, whatever it is. But to any human viewer, it is. It isn't, there is no pretentiousness about it. There is no, well, take color films. You watch color films, you're watching color, or a painting, and painting today is flashy colors. You never see it in nature. As brilliant as the colors are, they're perfectly blended, and they're just there. They are. You never see very much out of balance and going, except where we've had a hand in it. That's part of it, that's for sure. And we're all of the same stuff. Whatever caused us to reproduce in that first cell, not people, but of anything of nature, we all came out of that one moment when we had not the Big Bang, but the Big Birth, you know. Something replicated itself. And from then on in, we're off. So every tree is every tree, every bush, every flower, every bee, and so on. So yeah, it's a part of us, but it's the part of us that is the purest in a way. And being one with it, or trying to, or being around it, I find very rich. When you're painting, you're going like this. You You're reaching, but in the reaching, your muscles are reaching, your body is moving, your head is never thinking, or my head is never thinking. It's the one thing that's not allowed in the painting, is literally thinking. I don't look. I stand so close to the canvas. I don't know on purpose or not. I'm a self-taught painter, so it's just one of those things that develop. But I find it very satisfying in that I paint, and therefore I'm not letting my own judgment change it in the initial stage. At a certain point, I might hesitate, and in that hesitation, I'll back up and take a look at what I have. Then I'm on a different run. Then I'm on looking at something, and whatever I see, I'm automatically going to change. I don't want to see anything. I want to be involved in it, just as I were at Pearl Pass, or just lost in the woods, or whatever happens, or in the darkness of the sky, of a winter sky or something. Just involved in it, in a painting. But you can't do that if you're going to see one tree, or one color, or one this, or one that. You eradicate it. Well, in nature you don't have to. It doesn't exist. But boy, it sure exists in anything man does, and woman. Less with women, but everything man does. The awareness of doing it. And so to me, it's how not to be aware. And that's it. So I step back and I change. I see a line. I don't say what the line is or what I should do. I just dive onto that line, and it's going to be a different line. And if I don't see it the next time around and whatnot, I'm just on. That changes, changes, changes. And suddenly you step back and you don't see anything. You say, ooh, that's the end of the painting. It's not a heady exercise for me at all. I don't trust the head. I find now in what we call in Spain a tercera edad, the third age. Good way to put it. It's a wonderful time. I wish it on you all. If you got something to do and you're fortunate enough to have your loved one and living in the place you want to live, boy, great stuff to sit around. I'm thinking for the first time. I'm reminiscing for the first time. Haven't had time and didn't want to really. But it happens now in a lot of different ways. In Barbara's memoir that she's writing, it's a ball to do because I'm picking up what I would have said about where we were if I could talk like that. And so I'm reliving it completely. And it's a wonderful exercise for me. It's very much living. But the whole idea of this time is very, very good. If you get a break, you know, I mean, aches and pains and all that kind of crap, big deal. That's something to work against anyway. The only thing hard about oxygen is the 40 or 45 million people in the United States that don't have insurance, and if they need it, won't have it. That's hard. But having it, big deal. The 4 years or 3 years I've spent in the ski troops, believe me, the routine of putting on oxygen in the morning and getting ready to go out on a walk and what you need and having a double thing in back of you to protect you and whatnot. We were doing it every single day, you know, in different ways, plus having a 90-pound pack. You know, this thing only weighs 6 pounds. It's not any big deal.
So you don't feel like you're suffering, really? I'm
not. There's no suffering. It's a little inconvenience, that's all. An inconvenience can be as big a plus as a minus. Very often can be. Depends how you take it. Inconvenienced by something, you got to find a way out of it and whatnot. You have to get by it. And in doing it, you pick yourself up and you're a little stronger for having done it. That's a valid moment. It's like cleaning dishes or something. They're dirty and you pick them up and you clean them. Well, it's really nothing to bitch about. I mean, it's the greatest thing in the world, from black to white, and you've done it. Nobody else did it, and, you know, why all the crexing about it or anything? It's wonderful stuff. Or cleaning floors. John Lennon was into that kind of thing before his tragedy. I don't know if anybody understood it. I didn't realize it myself. I happened to fall into it when I came into Aspen. I was broke, and there was nobody to do it, and Barbie could have, and but I had come out of a situation where we had help in the house and friends and whatnot, all over the place. And Barbie didn't have to do anything. And I just felt, I'm going to pick this up and do it. And I'd never been in the kitchen before. I'd never done any cleaning. I couldn't. If I did, I would have been thrown out of it. I love it. It's a very substantial part of my life right now. Love every moment. It's great reflection time. Absolutely perfect.